Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Lady Calamere, and I am doing my 305th presentation. It will be on the Greek deity Prometheus. Notice how I said deity. Oh, hi Loki. He is commonly listed as one of the Titans. However, he may have been a child of the Titans, but he wasn't a Titan. I mean, you can even look at theoi.com, theoi.com. So, yes, he's a child of the Titans. So is Zeus, king of Zeus, the King Zeus, but he's not a Titan. So, best way I can put it is the way, well, the band Septic Flesh from Greece, who wrote a song called Prometheus and called him a demigod. However you want to put it, he is an immortal. Prometheus, whose name means foresight. He did a lot for humankind. He created us. He gave us the gift of fire. He sacrificed himself for at least 1,000 years of agony and did not regret his choice of helping us. He has always been a friend of mankind. He even defied mighty Zeus himself, the king of the gods. We call him Zeus here. His Greek name is Zeus. He defied the king of the gods for us. He rebelled. He tricked. He did this for our sake, not his sake, for our sake. Now, Prometheus. Depending on the sources, in the Hesiod, Theogony, his mother is Clymene, and his father is Apetos. So that's usually the one that's used, but he's also used as the son of Gaia, or Gaia as we call her, and Themis, or Themis. So either one, Themis or Gaia, or Gaia. So, but she's not pronounced Gaia in Greek. So if you go to Greek and say Gaia, they may not even know what you're talking about till you describe her. So, other sources, like Apollodorus, say his mother was Asia, and his father, Iapetos. And as you can see, his parents were Titans. His brother was Epithelios. Not Epimetheus. Sorry, Epithelios. And Epithelios means hindsight, as in hindsight is 20/20. So where do we begin with this God who gave us the gift to separate us from the rest of the animals that separate us from the tiger, the lion, the bear, the elephant, the whale, the dolphin? And who sacrificed his own being. Then he didn't die, but he sure sacrificed himself. Where do I begin? Well, when the war between the Titans and the gods began, Prometheus saw what was to be, because the Titans wanted to use the brute strength of Atlas. And Prometheus didn't want to use his foresight, didn't want to use the wisdom that Zeus was conjuring up and that the other gods conjured up. So he foresaw what is to be, and he took the side of Zeus. So Prometheus at that point was not punished in any way. He was not chastised in any way. He was allowed to be. And in fact, when the gods and Zeus commanded that life is to be created, Prometheus, of course, made them and gave them all the gifts. But when it came to humanity, when Prometheus made it, he says, okay, give me a gift for this being. And Prometheus had nothing. Prometheus said, why didn't you think, brother? So Prometheus went and gave us fire, for we were not given wings, we were not given sharp fangs, we were not given claws, or fast speed, or other gifts of strength. We were vulnerable. And when all was created and all was done, the gods decided to do a feast. And there was time to do the sacrifices. But Prometheus once again benefited us. So a bull was sacrificed. And underneath the fat, he placed the bones under a thick layer of fat that looked so scrumptious. And the other part of the sacrifice, which was supposed to be meant for us, was basically a stomach. But underneath was the meat, the succulent parts, and even the intestines that we make sausages out of underneath it. And he knew what Zeus would choose. He would choose the best portion of the sacrifice for himself. And here we see Prometheus not only as creator, but trickster. And he said which portion should go to humans during the sacrifice and which portion goes to the gods. Gods will enjoy the taste of food, but they didn't eat it. So Zeus pointed to the one with the fat. And when he dug in, he was pissed. It was bones. So Prometheus said, well, the gods don't need this. You just enjoy it. The creation that you had me create needed this. Zeus just was like, you tricked me. So he snapped his fingers and took our gifts away. The fire. Humans now remain cold and vulnerable, and we're dying. Or pretty much at the mercy of the gods. See, Prometheus didn't want us to be the mercy of the gods. So Prometheus was, even if I gave fire to humans, they would not remember how to make it. So I will do something. So he knew what his punishment would be. He foresaw what would happen to him. And this is how Prometheus also got identified with the Christ figure. But you see, Jesus died on a Friday and was resurrected on a Sunday. Yeah, he endured some pain, such pain, but not as much as what Prometheus endured. Not as long. And not the punishment and the pain that he would endure for us. And nor did he regret or ever regret doing. So he went and stole celestial fire. Now, it was said from the forge of Hephaestus, but Hephaestus wasn't there yet. So it was either of the Cyclops was called Cyclops in Greek, and Cyclopes, the Cyclops, or from Helios. Different sources, different things. Either way, he went and got a fennel stalk, and he hid celestial fire inside the fennel stalk. One story even said that Athena saw him. You see, Athena, when we were made by clay, Athena was said to breathe life into humans. Well, originally it was just men. I don't know how men procreated, but anyways. Either way, he gave fire. He went to the heavens, came back to the earth, and gave human the celestial fire, and then we remembered how to make it. When Zeus found out, he wasn't all too amused, nor with what he thought was treachery and deceit, and that Prometheus is a thief. Prometheus had defied Zeus enough. You see, Prometheus rebelled. He's the rebeller. He rebelled and revolted. Not because he didn't do trickery, not because he thought it was fun, not for shit and giggles, not for the hell of it. He didn't rebel because he was some, snotty god, divine being against the king of all gods. No. He did it for us. He was and is our champion and hero. He is our savior. And he knew damn well what was going to happen. Zeus ordered him arrested. And bound. But it gets worse than that. Not only is he arrested and bound, and he wanted him there for eternity. And not only did Prometheus desired for Zeus to choose the shitty part of the sacrifice, which pissed off the king of the gods, made him look bad. So you gotta hold face, right? How dare you? So he had him tied onto a rock. And Zeus, his symbol, his animal is an eagle. Remember I told you that? Had him fly every day to rip open the liver. Some sources say heart. To rip open the liver and devour it. And then every night he would heal. Then every day an eagle would come, rip out his liver. Then every night he healed. Then every day the eagle ripped out his liver, and so on and so forth. For a millennia. And two, there's different stories about, but one of the main stories is how he got free. And was actually a child of Zeus, Heracles, who we call Hercules, and especially that's a Roman pronunciation of Hercules, but who we know him as Hercules, is the one during his 12 labors also slew Zeus's eagle and freed Prometheus from his binds, and in which he is free. So, usually when we call him, there's usually like a scar seen where his liver is, where the eagle constantly ripped him open and ate him. But before he was bound, let's go back. And I really wanted to get to that. He told Prometheus, for hindsight, his name is Hindsight, told him, do not accept any gifts from the gods. Well, here's where Pandora comes in. Pandora, under the orders of Zeus, ordered Hephaestus to mold a virgin of earth, and Athena adorned her with all the guile, the charms, and the wiles to entice the mortal race. Prometheus warns his brother, but his brother accepted it, and Pandora lifted the lids of each container. She lifted the lid of each vessel that concealed all the horrors, atrocities, and evil which might befall on human life, such as the sufferings, diseases, sickness, hopelessness. It's another way to blame women again. Like how the Bible does to women. But anyways, I like to think that there were women, but this Pandora was made for that purpose. So Christ died, gave up his weekend, and rose to heaven. Gave up his weekend. Prometheus gave up 1,000 years of suffering and pain and never regretted it. So you can see why the Christians like to say, oh, Prometheus is this Christ-like character. Whatever. So Prometheus is a god of oracles. When you think about this, foresight, to think about what you're doing well, even if you don't have the second sight, to think about things well, to understand what could happen if you do A, B, and C. And is it worth it? Is it worth the sacrifice? Are you going to regret it or not? So Prometheus did this to benefit all humankind. What are your actions to benefit others? See, Prometheus is a benevolent god, and he deals with fire. Of course, he deals with fire because he gave fire. He gave light to humanity. He, because of his actions, is actually a god of evolution. Actually a deity of civilization and growth. Maybe Zeus didn't want us to have the fire because he knew damn well what we could do with it. But he also did it to spite Prometheus. But Prometheus didn't want us to be groveling all the time. It's cool to pray to the gods and stuff and goddesses, but to rely on every single thing and not to rely on ourselves. He wanted us to rely on ourselves and each other, not to be a slave race. By giving us fire, he gave us a gift, because we didn't have a gift because of Prometheus. He gave us a gift. We're supposed to use this gift wisely. We're supposed to be the custodians of the earth. But he gave us a gift that made us evolve because of fire. Look at all the technology we have. Look at all the things we can do, good and bad. We can create and destroy with fire. We have that gift to do that no other animal knows. So he's a god of evolution. He's a god. Stop biting me. He's a god of civility. He's also a god of sacrifice. And he didn't regret it once. Even in his agony. Even in his prison. He did not regret it once. Now look at this card. As you see, I have this here, and I'm so sorry. This is from the Gods and Titans. As you see, I have this card here. From I just really got into this presentation by Stacy DeMarco, illustrated by Jimmy Mathen. I actually have a book on this, and it's meant to go with this, a companion. I mean, this comes with a book, but there's another one. Let's see where I have it. And I'll show it to you. Hang on. You better not knock over the tripod, Miss Kitty. She's gonna do it. I think I have it put away here. And now I have my library in this room, and I just have so many books. I don't know where I have it. Huh. I'm sorry, guys. So anyways, Prometheus teaches us about forethought and thinking things through. Prometheus is all about the betterment of life and humankind. He's not a selfish deity at all. Is he approachable? Yes, he is. He is very approachable. Some people may feel he's intimidating, but he's not. He's kind. He's generous and giving. Okay? He really is. Nothing to be afraid of. Not at all. So, I just want to show you this book. And I don't think they have anything on Prometheus in this book, to be honest. I think it only has some of the cards. Yeah, but this is the book I was telling you about. Goddesses and Gods Embrace the Power. So, no, they don't have anything on it. I'm so sorry, but Prometheus right here, I'll read a little bit. Make decisions or start projects for the good of all. Seek out a healthy balance between yourself and others. So they give like who Prometheus is, his shadow side symbols, which is fire, fennel, the Olympic torch, eagles, as well as clay, which makes sense. And they have an invocation to him, like an invocation and prayer, and they tell you, to light a candle or build a small fire in a safe environment. So yeah, if to Prometheus, it is right to light a candle. It is right to light a fire for him. It could be a big candle or a small candle. It could be a little flame. And one of the things sometimes I do when my lighter's not working or match, I say Prometheus light. And I call on them to help me. Yeah, so fennel oil, or fennel, in itself is sacred to this god. So you can offer him fennel, or anything, anything to do with fennel for him as an offering. Cooking something is for him. Also using the power of heat is a good offering. So before actually I read this, let's get on to the offerings, what we would give him. Fire, candles, anything you cook, fennel, anything made, some foods that are definitely made with fennel is great for him. We could give him bread. We could give him, and again, you know what he gave to the gods. Fat, and even the bones, the meat off the bones. But we can make him stuff if we want. We can build things for him out of clay. We can make sculptures. Seriously, that's actually a good offering to him, is to make something. He likes... We can give him... Can't go wrong with chocolate. You can't go wrong with fruits. And like I said, you can't go wrong with something that's cooked for him. Pretty much. You can think about it, you cook something for him. We can... He's not one of these gods that go, bleh, you can make him a stew. You can make him soup. You can also thank him for his sacrifice. Thank him for his sacrifice. And honor his sacrifice. Even, I'm sorry you went through that. And to be compassionate. And to be compassionate to others who sacrificed. Compassionate to those who sacrificed for you and benefit of humanity. Those who gave their life for freedom. Those who gave their life for others may live. Maybe to that firefighter that went into the building and died or got extremely burned. Or the police officer who was serving the community and got hurt. Or the people in the military who died and gave as they say, all gave some and some gave all. To thank them for their sacrifice. These are the things we can do. We can give Prometheus lighters, matches. We can give Prometheus anything that combusts. We can even light fireworks to him. Just be careful, of animals, and know that some people do not like the sound of fireworks. But yeah, fireworks. To be honest, yeah. Sparklers, light a sparkler. Just be careful. Don't burn your house down or yourself. And be careful with sparklers, because those things go extremely hot and will mess you up. So just handle with care when you're doing with fireworks, okay? We can honor him with those things. So I was supposed to read something. So from this book, Gods and Titans, I really like this art, this deck. I really do. The story of the, well, they say Titan again. He's called a Titan. He's Prometheus is complex and in some ways tragic. Zeus asks Prometheus to create humans. Prometheus formed humans with sacred clay made of water and earth. Unlike other animals, he fashioned us in the God's image. That's, you see, humans were made from the dirt, from dust, from dirt and clay, and formed in the image of God. These new beings became beloved to Prometheus, even though we have no fur or warmth or great teeth for protection, and we lead short lives and possess few skills to help us survive. Feeling pity for this magnificent creation, Prometheus decided to help us, although he knew doing so would bring Zeus's wrath down on him. He tricked Zeus into choosing a lesser type of sacrifice from humans. In retaliation, Zeus took the vital gift of fire from mankind. Prometheus knew that fire was necessary to human survival, and that it would allow us to grow and thrive. Art and skills like metalworking would only blossom with fire. So Prometheus crept into Zeus. So it goes on from there. Talks about the shadow side. So, yeah, Gods and Titans guidebook by Stacy DeMarco, illustrations by Jimmy Manton. So those of the left-hand path would find this being, deity, pretty interesting. And one of his names is Iapetoni. I should have wrote this down. I'm probably butchering it. Iapetonides. I don't even know. Ia is in the name. Iapetonides, which means son of Iapetus. And another thing that he's called is I wouldn't even know how to pronounce it in Greek. I think it's I don't know. It means lofty minded. And another one he's called is Desmotis. Demotis. Which means, so it means to be bound. It means to be a bind or chained. The mountain he was bound to was Mount Caucasus. I almost said the Caucasian. It's called Caucasus. So we were created out of clay, basically earth and water. Now, it's also said that Zeus ordered Athena to make men out of mud. And so she's also credited with things like that. Either way, it was through the order of Zeus. So the things were later on added to the story about like Bia helped bind him with Kratos. But that was like in the 1700s, written down by someone. So, again, there's also a story about how he knew who would overthrow Zeus, but would not tell Zeus, and Zeus was angry at that. That Gaia told him who would overthrow Zeus. Now, there's one story where he does reveal it, and Zeus was happy and allowed him to be unbound. But for a while, he would not tell. So, again, Prometheus is pretty good at keeping secrets. But there's a story that says that he knew when to tell, or that he finally kind of let it out. Either way, he was still good at keeping secrets. And I really love this about this God, this deity. So, he is definitely good for developing the gift of the mind and the gift to think well and of psychic powers. And that's something to do, to really call on, to help you develop those powers. And he's also good to help you evolve yourself to become greater than just a human being. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, not a human experience, human having a spiritual experience. He can help us to basically to help us sacrifice, to help us evolve, and help us to have compassion and empathy for others. So, even though he's listed by many as a Titan, or he's Titan Light instead of Bud, and there's Bud Light, yeah. So he's benevolent. I just want to say that. He gives great counsel. Prometheus gives you very great advice. And he can help you advise others as well. His advice is pretty solid. And he can help you to be an advisor. He can help you defy an authority that does not serve the people. When people fear the government, you will have dictatorship, tyranny. And Prometheus wants freedom, freedom of thought and expression, and to create. So those are the things that he will help you do. And I know I repeat a little bit, but that's how I teach, and that's how I learn. I don't have a script. I don't have notes. And we were visited by Miss Kitty today. I don't know if you saw her. And definitely Loki, where he's in his... Let's see where Loki is. Hi, Loki. Loki Laufey-san. And also, since he had the sacrifice of the bull, you can also give him beef. Go back to your offerings, beef. See, this is why I don't have that. So, offspring. By Pronoia, he had Deucalion. Deucalion, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Deukalion. Sometimes it's not by Promonia, but it's usually described by Promonia. So there was also Eidos, Aidos. And Eidos was a feminine spirit of dealing with modesty, reverence, respect. So, yeah. So just in case, so she was worshipped both in Greece and in Rome. So she dealt with being modest. And Deucalion, well, Deucalion was a king, the first king, pretty much of the northern parts of Greece. And his wife, which was not Piranha. Oh my God. It's not Piranha. Not the fish. Pyrrha. Pyrrha. I hope I'm pronouncing it. Pyrrha. Which deals with fire and fiery. So she deals with like pyro. A pyromaniac. I mean, someone who lights fire. Could get the word pyro from pyra. So dealing with, I believe that's where we get it from, but it deals with fire. So Deucalion. I don't know what his name means, to be honest. So, yeah. I'm sorry. So, what do you think about Prometheus? And what are your thoughts on it? Have you ever contacted him? Do you respect him more? I know he also was on Hercules, the legendary continues. And I believe the scene is where Hercules released the the Titan, or the sort of Titan, from his chains. But they made him a gigantic. And they showed Hercules, played by Kevin Sorbo, releasing him. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. And I'm still unpacking. I still have so much to unpack. I have some statues and stuff to fix that my landlord thought it would be a great idea to break, because he went Christian, and it was his Christian duty, I guess, to destroy my pagan stuff. Yeah, some sort of Christian. Slapping a cat in the face and being just violent. But anyways, enough about that. I don't want to talk about that negativity, that negative guy. I moved way out of the state, so I pretty much took everything that that I own, and my cats. So please send me your good wishes, your good thoughts, your good prayers and spells of protection, prosperity, money. And that's payment enough. Even if you see this like 10 years from now, give me a thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button, because it lets me know that I'm doing a good job. And that's a way to pay me. Do good things for animals. Do good things for people. Do good things to better society and to better yourself. And as always, blessed be. And please share my video with your friends and family. And blessed be.